Hello! What's going on, y'all? My name is Adrian, and today is a 19th video of Inspirations Really Cool. So today the inspiration is my buddy Rob. Rob's birthday was very recent. It was a few days ago, and the reason I'm doing a painting for him is because Rob was our official first customer. He was the first one to buy something from us online. We've sold paintings to different people, mostly from art shows and some people just word of mouth, but he found out we had a website and he immediately went online and bought something, and he loved it. Actually, his daughter loved it, so she took it and he was left with nothing. So I was like, for his birthday, let me make you something. So some things about Rob is we met in a group. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. I am I don't know how to say this. I am recovering from substance abuse. Art, specifically pouring, has been one of my ways of dealing with that. It's been very therapeutic for me. It's been a very good avenue for me to put a lot of energy and anxiety and just a way to keep my hands busy. And it's very calming and rewarding, and it's been great for me. And yeah, one of the people that really stuck out to me in that group was Rob. Rob is very welcoming to everyone. He's very wild, very friendly. Oh, yep. Laughing over here. My apron's on backwards. Anyway, so during the beginning of the pandemic, this group began to meet online, and because of that, they weren't able to do the key tag system that they have. The key tag system is a lot like AA. It's like the tokens that you might know of. So when you hit a certain amount of days clean, you get like a little key tag. So for like 30 days, you get this one, a nice orange one here. The saying behind it is like, aren't you glad you aren't using, or something like that. And then for 60 days, the green one is like, aren't you green you're not using? Aren't you green you're not using? That's pretty good. I think green and serene, something like that. It's probably funnier than that, but that's the only thing I can think of. Oh, the red one, I know. This one was like, finally your bloodstream's clearing up. The red one, I like that one. So that this one's for 90 days. And so for 6 months is the blue one, which I really don't remember, but I know some people like to equate this to our basic text. It's a big blue book. So it's kind of like, hey, you're really in this program, stick to it, read your literature, and don't use. And then the yellow one is like, hey, look, you can finally pee clean. So it's yellow. And that one's for 9 months. And then this is the last one that I got, was for a year. This one is actually glow in the dark. And this one, they say it glows in the dark so that your sponsor can find you wherever you go. And actually, by the time this video comes out, I think I will have officially a year and a half. So that's 18 months. Yeah. So by the time this video is out, God willing, I will have my year and a half key tag, which is silver, which they say is like duct tape. So they say duct tape your ass to the seat and don't go anywhere. I like that one. And so Rob actually just celebrated 11 years. I think he's coming up to his 11 and a half years fairly soon. So I bring up the key tags because during the pandemic, Rob took it on himself to keep up with everyone's clean dates and mail them the key tags wherever they were in the country. I actually think a couple of people were overseas. He bought the key tags, he mailed it to them. So he kept the tradition going just out of the kindness of his heart, which I thought was really awesome. So Rob's a good dude. He's a really good dude. He's a retired partier. He used to be a frat guy, and now he is a family man that loves to run marathons. I actually checked with him first before I made this video to see if it was cool if I could say his name and talk about this stuff. And he was in the middle of an ultra marathon when he answered the phone. He was like, yeah, I'm on like lap whatever, and he was just talking to me, and like I was trying to get off the phone. Like after I got the okay, I was trying to let him go run, and he kept me on the phone. He was just just talking and running. Dude is wild. But yeah, he's one of the great people that I met in the program. And I can go on. This whole video could be me talking about that, but I'm not going to do that to you. I might talk about it more while I'm painting. So speaking of painting, let's get to that. So the painting I'm going to do today is going to be on this round 10-inch canvas. I chose this one because Rob is a kind of out there kind of guy. I told him that we have different shapes. I said we have circles, triangles, I think we have a hexagon maybe. So he said, yeah, do one that's a different shape. So I picked round because I've been doing a lot of rounds lately, and he loves purple. He's a huge Taylor Swift fan and he likes the color purple. I was like, cool. So the colors I'm going to use for that is this Blue Violet Flash by FolkArt. Right here, which I love. I accidentally got this on my hands the other day and I noticed it while we were walking and it made me kind of happy. It was cool. All right, and I'm gonna use Neon Violet because why the heck not? All right, and then next I'm gonna use Metallic Purple. Gotta use a metallic because Corey's here. This house runs on metallic. All right, and then next I'm going to use a brilliant purple. It's a lighter, kind of more daintier purple, more of the lilac kind of vibe. And then I'm going to do some accents of 24 karat gold, because why not, by DecoArt. We all know and love it. That's going to be in there. The base is going to be white, which is going to be titanium white by Amsterdam. And I'm going to be swiping with black by Amsterdam as well. All of these are mixed with, besides this one's just mixed with Australian Floetrol. The rest are mixed with flood Floetrol, gloss pour medium, except for the white just has flood Floetrol, and it's made a lot thicker than the rest of the paints. So it's kind of like a faux pillow paint in a way. So what I plan on doing is I'm gonna do a nice white base. Then I'm gonna do ribbons of purple with little accents of gold on one side, ribbons of purple, accents of gold on the other side, swipe that way, swipe that way, do a cool little wreck in the middle, and stretch it out. Nice and simple, effective, but hopefully very pretty and cool. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you more about my recovery, which has saved my life. And there will be no video playing in one of these four corners over here. I just did that so I can do that edit. And let's give it a go. All right, y'all, so let's get going. We're gonna start with the base. Bottom base. No bubbles. No bubbles. There you go. Nice. As I think we've mentioned in videos before, Core, aka Corey, the other half of the channel, was the one that introduced me to acrylic pouring. And I remember after the first day that we did it, and granted my first pours were not great, but I remember it just being really fun. And at that time I was still, I wasn't quite done with my stuff yet. I know I wanted to get out of the lifestyle, but I didn't quite know how to yet. So I was still a little more erratic, and I do stuff like stay up super duper late and just like I'm gonna build this thing and I'm gonna do it until the sun comes out kind of thing. I used to come down into the garage and just like make paintings. And once after I took recovery seriously and started planning stuff out, and then the YouTube channel came around, yada yada, my love for the painting never left. I was worried for a bit that maybe my interest was evolved around the use. A lot of things I was interested in during that time did go away because it was just paired with that lifestyle, but this did not go away. So I'm going to start off with this, I think this is a violet, prism violet. Hold on a second, let me show you. No, this is metallic purple. I'm going to start off with the metallic purple.
Beautiful. Good job.
Thank you. Another thing that I discovered about myself is that like crazy intensity and that tenacity that I would get when it came around using and finding ways and aiming to get more. Once the using gets out the way, I could direct that same energy to more useful stuff. Obviously, it could still be too much, like you can take anything to the extreme, but that part of you, that like, I guess quote unquote street smart part of you, that like real rough and tumble, I'll get it done however I want to, and just that monster inside you can still be there. You can just use it for better things. I still have to be careful sometimes. I can find myself getting distracted and like super focused or obsessing over pointless things. Funny enough, our meeting today we were talking about that, but other times it's very helpful, especially when it comes to this YouTube thing. Oh no, if you're a creator, it's just content. Like, you can get too married to one piece of work that you put out. You have to put out something right after that. And I can kind of use that energy that I used to use for bad stuff for something good. And I did speckle a little bit of purple here. Y'all saw that, but that's probably going to get stretched out, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, here comes the swipe. Thank you. I'm going to turn this around, do the exact same thing on the other side. Something else I learned, or I'm learning in recovery, is that it's a lifelong thing. At first, I went in thinking it was like a class. You know, you kind of go in there, you figure out how not to use, and then you go and you live your life. Like, ta-da, you're done. So I kind of caught on to stuff kind of quickly. I sort of knew what people were talking about. Like, it clicked for me fairly fast. So I got very complacent. I stopped going to my meetings, stopped really working on myself, and the main thing that got me was I stopped reaching out to people. For me, and what I've heard from other people, is the key is your network, the people that you contact and talk to almost daily. Whenever you're having kind of a squirrely thought or whatever, good, bad, indifferent, that sense of community that you build, when you fall away from that, that's when your brain and that addict brain can take over. And woof, once it's just you in the room together and no one else, it goes downhill real fast. And I experienced that after about 7 months. And unfortunately, I went back out and, I did what they like to call research. And I came to the conclusion that, still wasn't a good lifestyle. So I came back, and now I have about a year and a half. Well, when you're seeing this, I should have a year and a half. And now I do see the program differently. I won't say I'm working a perfect program, but I do see it as like, it's something I get to do almost daily. I love waking up, maybe doing some yoga, maybe drinking my coffee, whatever, and then going into my meetings. It's really cool. It's a great way to start my day. And I have some really close friends in there that I like to talk to almost every day, which is really cool. It just reminds me that, like, hey man, like, yes, you're doing better. Yes, you're not using. Your life has improved tremendously, tenfold, but you got to be careful. There's some things that you can't do that other people can, and just check yourself. Sometimes if you're having the thought and you're like, feels weird to me, but I don't know, maybe I'll do it. Maybe just check with someone else first. And I try to do that. And a lot of times I get good advice, or someone would just tell me their own experience, and then I can kind of learn from that. And that's something I used to never do. I thought I knew it all. Oof. I was Mr. Know-It-All. I still do think that sometimes, but I'm trying to get better. I love how this gold is looking, by the way. Oh no! Jesus Christ. Womp womp womp. That right there was a lot of cell activator gone to waste. Mistakes were made, but we move on. All right, so now I really like how this looks. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of just grab a little bit from each section of color and just kind of do some swirls connecting each. And then we're gonna stretch it out. So let's swirl it up. I feel like there's something poetic about the two sides meeting in the middle like this, but I don't quite know what it is yet. All right. Cool. Time to stretch. Let's do this. So, yeah, I am a-okay with that. I'm going to take you in close for a wet shot. Alright, y'all, so here is the finished piece. I can already see I am going to stretch it over this way just a hair. So I like how there's a bit of white there and a bit of white there, but they're not quite even. But let's get in close here. I love the play between the two sides there. That webbing looks really cool. You can see the colors from each side just kind of coming in and swirling over. The nice gradient of the purples. The gold is just sparkling through all of that. I mean, it's a very simple pour, but I feel like it's very effective. I like that this is on a round piece. I'm gonna ask Corey to resin this one because I think the round pieces look a lot better with resin, and overall I'm happy with this. And you know what, I kind of see this as like stairs or like a pathway, and I see this as the pathway to recovery. So there's a little aw moment there for you. But yeah, in just a few seconds you'll see how this looks dried. Alright. So here is the dried version. So this thing dried like a charm. I love how this came out. This looked almost exactly like my little markup. Actually, I'm going to show that to you right now. So here is the miniature version that I did, just to kind of try it out. Same thing, 2 swipes on each side with the little swirly ladder thing in the middle. Pretty much did the exact same thing on this bigger form. What I like about the bigger one is I was able to leave a little bit of negative space on the edges here. I did notice though that I was able to get a cool line right here because this is where the swipe started or ended here, so it left a cool black line and then the rest of that was white. Over here the swipe ended and or started there, but a little bit of color spilled over. However, there is still that white separation right there, so the white parts match, the edge of the swipe doesn't necessarily match, but I'm okay that it's a little off in that way. Overall, I love this. I think there's enough interest in here to kind of keep your eyes busy. There's enough symmetry to make my heart happy. There's a good amount of gold in there. Those cells are just like really having fun. The purple in there is crazy. There's a lot of different purples. That's a cool little spot right there. I didn't notice that until just now. But yeah, I think Rob is gonna, actually, I know Rob is gonna like this. I already sent him the picture of it while it was drying and he loves it already. So we're gonna let this dry for maybe another week or two before we varnish it. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. What else? What do YouTubers say? Oh yeah, comment, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for watching. Bye.